having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
We're in Ray Media.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Chasing Chevy podcast. I am one of your hosts from the Culture Cast, Chris Dashiu, and I'm joined by my two good friends, all the way from the Projection Booth podcast, Mike White.
You can call me Mr. Briefcase.
I fucking hate all of this already. We were fucking 30 seconds in, and I already hate this. And all the way from Cambridge and Wishawn, your friend and mine, Mark Begley.
Turn your dick into the Terminator.
It's your God. Y'all,
that was my Robert Loggia, if you couldn't tell.
Well, yeah, it was like he was here with us.
Y'all's line deliveries are better than the line deliveries in the actual film. And on this episode of the Chasing Chevy podcast, we're talking about a 2006 film that is, I would say, and this is on me, I'm just going to take responsibility right out of the gate for picking this movie. This show is all about Chevy Chase vehicle films, and this is a late Chevy Chase vehicle film, much later than I think anything else we're talking about. I think that this is the oldest vehicle film of his that we're talking about in terms of like conventionality. The Last Laugh, I think we will be talking about that. That's 2019, but that's a Netflix movie, and that's very different. Like, this still feels like a, quote, real movie, unquote. At least yeah, well, 6 dozen. Ish. Yeah, oh, it's ish, all right, as the kids are saying. But no, we're talking
pilot-ish.
Yeah, big ass pilot-ish. We're talking about 2006's Funny Money, which is a bonus film, technically not part of the lineup of everything we're doing because we're stopping at Vegas Vacation. Technically with this show, which is 97. This show stops in 97. This movie comes out in 2006. So we're 9 years removed from when this show is essentially ending. So this bonus episode is again, like, this is a very late vehicle film. If you could see me, I'm putting quotations in the air for those of us who can see. But
I mean, he is the lead.
Yeah, he is, and it is the movie. We watched the trailer before we started recording, and I wanted to verify to myself that the movie was being sold as a Chevy Chase movie, which it was, which is why I made sure we watched it, which is why they cast him in the movie, which is why this movie even exists, is because somebody goes, hey, I want to see Chevy Chase in this British play that I feel like the description of the British play when filmed and seen would be its body or tawdry. This is none of those things. This, I think, is one of the worst things we've ever watched, collectively, the three of us, in terms of mainstream things. But it is based on a play of the same name from 1996 by Ray Cooney. And this film does star Chevy Chase in the lead role as Henry Perkins, a man who switches briefcases on the train with a Serbian warlord or drug lord or gangster, and so then gets the bright idea to steal said money, which never goes awry. See No Country for... It's essentially a stupid No Country for Old Men. Like,
yeah, I mean,
God, like, what happened if No Country for Old Men was just dog shit all the way down? You have Funny Money.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just going to say, we could talk about this more. I was trying to think of all those. I was trying to think of all those films and stories and plays, I guess, that involve this switching of money thing and the accidental switch. And the only one I could come up with was No Country for Old Men. I'm like, God damn it, I'd rather be watching that.
Yeah, boy, and that's a low bar because that movie's amazing and this one is bad. Just bad.
But I don't think No Country for Old Men has the switcheroo of the briefcase.
Right. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't. But it's kind of it's sort of, it's not comedy of errors, but it's that.
It could have been now if it weren't so dark.
Now I'm being chased by the baddies. I guess that's really the connection. But there are multiple, and maybe some of you guys are usually better at remembering this kind of stuff. There are cases of, one guy puts their briefcase down on the floor, the other guy puts it down, or gal, and then they accidentally pick up the wrong one, and it leads to this misadventure and mistaken identity, and et cetera, et cetera.
But the key difference here is this is 4 briefcases, if not more briefcases. You see what I did there? More briefcases, more than 4. Yeah, this is the high comedy here because there's so many briefcases because there's Chevy Chases, there's Rebecca Wasaki, the Madam Virginia, is that her name? The art critic. There's
who apparently is also a sex.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Which is kind of like, my fantasy.
Yeah.
So you should see her in commercials all the time. And I'm like, wow.
She's in tons of shit. I'm like, I know who that gal is. She's in every TV show over the last 20 years.
She's probably my favorite part of the movie. Yeah. Yeah. I think she was a Romulan or
I can't remember. Something like that.
Yeah. But yeah. Yeah. I mean, isn't it funny that they make wax fruit? Isn't that funny?
Artificial fruit, as the trailer says.
Yes.
We're skipping our usual intro here, but I just wanted to say I had high hopes. I've never seen this before. I had high hopes only because when the credits started, I was like, we're getting a Pink Panther style animated credit sequence. So somebody bothered to take time to do this. And
they got your hopes up way too fucking high, way too quick there, didn't they, pal?
Yeah. There's going to be hijinks and it's going to be snappy and there's going to be repartee and there's going to be quick. No,
it's a farce. It's a farce, guys.
Yes. As a fan of the 10th Avenue Regulars, this really was like, like the animated sequence, like animated credits, like a thing in the past. But when I saw this, I was like, wow, this is great. And that jaunty Andrea Morricone music and stuff. I was like, oh, okay, this is going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah. And even the wax fruit company, I was like, oh, that's odd. That's an odd little touch. I mean, those are real businesses. Somebody has to make those stupid things, right? Mm-hmm. And then shortly thereafter, it went downhill immediately.
Pretty much from the next scene on, when they're in the group therapy, which, by the way, always goes well in any film or television show. Group therapy is always a spot for hilarity and laughs, just not in this movie.
Well, it's such a great way for characters to provide exposition about themselves.
Right.
It's wonderful that we really get to figure out what's going on with this couple. And this is, for me, still the okay part of the movie. There's a moment where the movie just stops dead and you go, oh, now we're watching a play. Okay.
All right.
Exactly.
Yeah. Holy shit. Ain't that the truth? Yeah.
When he walks through the front door.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
This is all of a sudden very set bound, guys. All of a sudden, when they get to his house, feels very much like, and I don't have to say a line as much as make a noise. And I think y'all would probably look at me and go, oh, yeah, it's kind of like that, too. You're so funny, Mark. It really at parts feels like The Room with like big name actors. Like they're stuck in this house for what feels like the entire movie. And I'm like, this is just The Room now, but with Chevy Chase. Like, and it's actually trying to be funny in the way The Room, quote, was not in on the joke, unquote, until it apparently was, which it never was. But I mean, the quality of filmmaking and the quality of the sets, once we get to the house, all of a sudden become very Tommy Wiseau-esque. And that is not a compliment at all, because this movie again has the budget to hire Chevy Chase and Penelope Ann Miller and Armand Asante. It's at a $20 million budget, possibly. What the fuck?
And Kevin Sussman and
Robert Loggia and Christopher McDonald.
Christopher McDonald is I do have to say one of the highlights of the film. I like him and his wife. And
second time we've seen him on this show because we saw him in Dirty Work.
Yeah, and Mike mentioned Madam Virginia. She was enjoyable in this. But man, the rest of them were so terribly miscast.
Penelope Ann Miller is just, I think she might be the worst part of this movie because I don't know. She's doing Mike, how much under your skin did it get her doing the drunk shit? Because I was like, man, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I was like, man, I know how much Mike loves when characters play drunk. And this is the worst example of playing drunk, like falling down, pratfall shit, the slurring of the words.
Yeah.
Doing the flips. All of a sudden it becomes True Lies for a second.
Well, I'm gonna cinema sins you guys for a second here because that brings up one of the things that got on my nerves. Multiple times it is noted that she is not a drinker, yet when she is chowing down those little chocolate things with the booze in them, she knows the name of every alcohol. If you're not a drinker, you're not going to know what the fuck amaretto tastes like. You're not going to know what tequila tastes like. You're not going to know any of that. I'm sorry, that was idiotic. I don't know. It bugged me. I'm like, how does she know this? She's not a drinker. She doesn't know this stuff.
One of the many minor idiotic things in this movie.
Yeah, right.
Well, I have a question for you guys, which is, why is Christopher McDonald's wife dressed like a prostitute?
So that moment where she sits on Robert Loggia's erect penis and it inserts inside of her could happen, which is such an off-putting thing to have in anything.
I kept thinking of Megalopolis. Look at this boner I got.
Thankfully, I have not spent any time watching Megalopolis yet.
She kind of just reminded me that of a Jersey Girl or something. Like, she's younger than him. She's a trophy wife.
Yeah.
I get that, but I would have liked an accent or something to note, other than because it almost looks like she's going in drag because she's talking very normally. She seems very smart. And then she's got this blue eyeshadow caked for days. And I'm just like, what is going on? Why are you dressed like that?
Mm-hmm.
Because the script asked for it, so she could sit on Robert Loggia's wiener.
Yes, because we have foreshadowing with the Viagra pills early in the movie. Yes, because I guess he's just a horny old man and giving credit to the young guy rather than to Chevy Chase because he's the one that thought of those bruised bananas all those years ago. Oh my God.
Bruise the bananas, guys. It's all about bruised bananas. Yeah, I love when the movie starts being shot in Romania.
Well, it's so funny because I guess, are they shooting this on location or something?
They work for part of it, and then they're in Romania.
Well, because other times I'm just like, this looks like a backlot set, especially whenever they open up the door. I'm just like, well, that's the backlot out there. It looked so cheap so many times.
Well, again, that's why I said it's very Wiseau-esque, because it just makes me think of, you have the establishing shots of Tommy and Greg running through the park. You got Chevy Chase walking through Times Square, and that's and now we're in Romania. And now we're clearly not anywhere near these places. Because at one point you can see the backyard of the house that Penelope Ann Miller is in, and it does not look anything like what the front of the house looks like. It is literally just a dirt and grass backyard. I'm not even joking. And I don't understand how this movie feels so cheap. I just don't get it. It's a $20 million movie, and yet it looks, I guess it's because the whole point of the movie was just to hire everybody.
Well, and part of it, I noticed shortly after they stopped with the scenic New York street stuff, I'm like, oh, as we get to the factory, oh, this looks like a TV movie. Oh, and I thought, okay, let me check on the director, who hasn't directed very much, but produces a lot of TV series and movies. And it's sometimes you can tell, and they hire a TV crew, so it's lit like a TV show. And that, to me, that and the set bound stage play look of it was really off-putting. I mean, sometimes that can really work. Death Trap or something like that, where, my God, it's so obvious this was a play. We're in one house the whole time and 3 characters. And this one we have way more than 3 characters, but that can work. It can work okay like that. But that, I noticed it said based on a play, and I thought, oh, are we going to be in one location for most of the time? And then, as we pointed out already, the second Chevy walked in the door of the house, I thought, we're going to be in the house the rest of the time. I was thinking we were going to be gallivanting around the world, and these guys were going to be chasing him from Barcelona to Greece to Italy to that, and it's like, no, okay, Sante shows up. His brother shows up. I'm like, no, we're staying here. We're staying right here. Taxi driver shows up. Everybody starts showing up at the house. It's like, okay, I got it. I know what's going on.
Well, and then they tried to obfuscate it by going outside every once in a while and keeping up with that taxi driver. And I'm just like, wow, you are definitely not the guy from Die Hard who I actually want to see, whenever they would cut down to him. I'm like, Argyle, right? And it's just like, okay, yeah, him I like, but this guy, what a pain in the ass. And you know what? If the taxi leaves, you order another one. It's really okay. You don't need that taxi driver.
What? It's 2006. You can't just order another taxi. What? What? We're like 5 years removed from Uber being a thing at this point.
Yes.
Holy flying fuck. Yeah, the conventions that the movie leans on. Look, the script rights were bought in 1998. It might have worked in 1998.
Well, and the guy who wrote it, who wrote the script, who wrote the play, and who and he gets credited for part of the movie. He'd been writing since 1960, and a lot of it just looks like garbage. Some of the movies where it's like, not now, darling, not now, comrade. 2 movies.
There goes the bride.
Right. Why not stay for breakfast? And then just a ton of foreign remakes of his stuff. So I'm like, okay, well, this guy's been, doing this stuff a while. This one comes, the play was from, what'd you say, 95, the rights get sold in 98. And then, I guess it takes all that time to put this stuff together. And it's just like, I've been to many, many plays over the years. We have David McGregor on my show, The Projection Booth, a lot. He's a playwright. I go to see his stuff every single time. And I'm like, this is how you do it. I have seen good theater. This is not good theater. I can't imagine sitting through this play.
I can, just not with Chevy Chase.
I
don't think the play's bad. I feel like it's been poorly adapted for an American audience. That's why I'm saying, my expectation were that it's bawdy and tawdry and it's all toned down, and it sounds really strange coming out of Chevy Chase's mouth.
Yeah, I agree with you, Chris. I think there's something there. I think the Americanization of it is probably what's bothering you, Mike, because that's what's bothering. But I could see this working as one of those dry kind of body British plays. It would be played out so differently and acted so differently than what we're getting here. And the thing that struck me about this, and the timeline sort of, I think, bears this out a little bit, it being bought in 98, and I'm assuming by American producers. There's a line in the movie towards the very end. Somebody says, it's like a scene from a Tarantino movie.
Yes.
And I
think that.
And I think in 98, that's what they would have been gunning for. And it's 2006 now. That shoot 'em up, Pulp Fiction, Reservoir Dogs thing is done in a large way, and yet there's still shadows of that throughout this, especially with the finale and the shootout and the multiple freeze frame picture towards the end there, which comes basically right after that line. And I thought, that's what they were hoping for with this. With Chevy Chase, though, I don't get that, but whatever.
I'm sure they really thought that those montages of the split screens and like, here's Chevy and here's the Romanian guy walking away kind of thing. Or then like, here's the cab driver and just all these split screens, the way they move across the screen. I'm like, you guys probably really thought that was a great transitional thing. But for me, it just made it, again, look very cheap.
Mm-hmm. Well, they weren't done very well. They weren't executed with any kind of style, or it was like, yeah, this is a device that harkens to something more interesting than what you're actually getting.
Well, and the other issue ultimately, I think, becomes is why cast Chevy Chase in this?
Yeah,
Like
It's very funny. Plus, he can also like wear those fake teeth that he did for Fletch when he was checking out the airplane. Like that's how. I don't think he actually is wearing the fake teeth, but a lot of times it sounds like he is. He's doing that voice, you know.
Speaking of doing a voice, can we talk about his Australian accent?
Oh my god!
The best part of the movie, you mean? The reason you would watch this movie is to hear Chevy Chase do his Australian accent.
Oh god!
My god, that was so bad. So bad.
I mean, and he had to be doing it bad on purpose, right?
I guess.
Mike, you're not imminently
giving him too much
convinced,
credit.
huh?
I'm not convinced. No.
Sounded like Will Ferrell and Anchorman. I'm Ron Burgundy. Like, I'm convinced. I would like to believe that is the case, but I would not be surprised also if Chevy Chase just can't do an Australian accent, and that's that. He lacks so much self-awareness, I feel like.
I just don't get, like, the crux of the movie for me is him coming. It's basically the start of the play, right? Him coming in, and Penelope Ann Miller is putting together this big birthday surprise and all this stuff, which I kind of forgot that was even a thing. Like, I remember her talking to the Chinese caterer at one point, Mr. Wong, and it's like, oh, okay, well, Mr. Wong's going to show up at some point. Mm-hmm. But then they're talking about like his brother and his sister-in-law coming over and things. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. And I'm like, well, maybe it's just for them. So when the party actually happens, I'm surprised. But like, so he comes in and he's just like, hey, you know, this is it. We need to get some airline tickets and take off to the rest of the world. And she gets so upset about that. And it's just like, we have dinner guests coming. And she just like suddenly becomes this whole different person, because I'm like, wait, you were just at therapy complaining about how he's, you know, listens to the same Tom Jones CD every night, how he drinks Miller Lite at 6:30, how he, you know, has Bumblebee tuna every day for lunch. It's like, okay, well, here he is trying to be spontaneous. And I'm like, okay, unless it's the reason that she's actually upset is because she literally ran into Madame V, who's going to see her artworks and things like that. But I'm like, just her reaction and her motivation just seems so askew. And then that her solution is to just start drinking like crazy. I'm like, okay, this is, I just have problems with the character motivation sometimes.
Well, they're in couples therapy because she's upset with his predictability. Mm-hmm. And like you said, he is now, for once, being spontaneous. She should be leaping into his arms, but she becomes the shrill, nagging wife at that point. And that characterization is so boring to me. I don't need to see, for the umpteenth thousandth time, a nagging, haranguing, shrill, mad at her idiot husband wife.
Well, even if it came with the whole idea of, you know, finally it's my turn to shine. Mm-hmm. I've got this woman come over to look at my artwork, but it doesn't feel like she's upset about that so much as you're going to ruin my dinner plans. It's yeah. Oh, by the way, another good telling of when this movie was written and stuff, when he's pointing at the money to her and he says, we just hit the Donald freaking Trump jackpot.
Yeah.
He's fired.
Guys, can't get away from it. Can't get away from it. No matter how far you run, he's always there.
Yeah.
It's always. I can't even. When he said the line, I was like, "Holy shit! It's inescapable." Sometimes,
Thanks
isn't
for
it?
the reminder.
It is. It is. Yeah.
God. Well, he wasn't in Romania though. Can you imagine this house in
he hired
Hoboken?
those prostitutes in Russia to pee on the bed that Obama slept in. That's right.
true.
Yeah.
In Romania, though.
Oh, right.
I love the idea that this is in that this house is in. We are meant to believe that this house is in Hoboken.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Hoboken, New Jersey.
Well, it's just like Tony Soprano's house, right?
What? Yeah. In the city. Yeah. Yeah. And the hilarious cast of characters that they interact with, including the cabbie and Armand DeSanti is in this movie.
Yeah, sure is.
Christ on a cracker. That man must love to travel international. They're just like,
I don't know,
hey,
'cause
Armand, what are you doing? You up to nothing?
I hated him in this. I absolutely hated him in this.
I mean, he's not given anything to do.
No.
It just, well, and that was the other, talk about confusing things. He shows up and then we get the story. Like or maybe I missed it. Maybe I missed him.
No, you're right. It's a flashback. It's a flashback. Yeah. We see him on the toilet opening the briefcase 3 times before we get Armand Asante coming in and then giving us the backstory about what happened between the toilet open and then now.
But also, even when Chevy Chase shows up at the house, we haven't seen him discover the money.
Nope, that's
so
correct.
that was confusing to me. I'm like, okay, I guess he opened it at the bar.
Yeah, 3 times, and then he thought he was being blown by men. Hilarious.
And that aspect of that dual cop thing with him, and I'm imagining it's just because he has to keep paying him off all night is supposed to be the funny part of it. But I'm thinking, why do we have 2 cops? Why is Armand Asante eating everything and spitting food back into the container?
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't like this character.
Why are they pretending to
how-
play with each other's dicks at one point?
Oh, yeah. The gay
yeah.
panic in this movie is amazing. Again, 98 might have hit a little harder.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I just... maybe it's the
2001, but then the movie comes out post 2001?
Oh, so you're saying that 9/11 affected this film?
Maybe this film caused 9/11.
Oh,
maybe it's more the character that Asante is playing that I hate, but I still didn't like his characterization of it either way. I was like, this character seems so pointless to me.
He's no Rico Dredd, which I think was the role that he played right before. Well, I say that not knowing because I know he's in a lot of stuff. Because I think as long as the money's green, he's there.
Hell yeah.
I don't know if you guys are familiar with the oeuvre of Frank D'Angelo, a Canadian filmmaker who runs a restaurant by day and makes movies by night. And he just makes these horrible, like they are like, this is very fitting because he makes these horrible films, and he has somehow gotten both Armand Asante and Robert Loggia to be in several of them. So I think it's basically he can pay, and so that's why these guys play.
I remember when we interviewed Armand Asante back in 2015.
Wow.
For Judge Dredd.
Nice.
But yeah, he's great.
Yeah, rip his arms off.
So I remember we only got to interview him because he was doing press for a movie called Leaves of the Tree, which I think may be one of those films you're talking about.
I'm sorry. Funny Money was 2006. Judge Dredd was 1995. So he had done at least like 3 dozen films in between then. So.
He was doing the Nick Cage thing before Nick Cage was doing it. Before Jeff Fahey was doing it. I mean, probably Armand Asante and Jeff Fahey were doing it at the same time.
Yeah, and he's one of those guys who just had so much potential, man. You go back and you watch, like, I don't know. Yeah, you know what? I guess he never did have potential.
No, I like Armand Asante. Say what you
like
will.
him. Yes.
I like him. I think that the things I've seen him in haven't done him justice. This being one of them.
Yeah. What was the one that he did that was the parody of Fatal Instinct? That's the one that he did in 93. I think that might have been his best role.
I haven't seen or Judge Dredd.
Yeah. Oh yeah, or Judge Dredd. Yeah, Rico was so good.
I see that as more of a Eric Roberts career than a Nick Cage career.
Yeah.
Because that
Leaves
dude
of the Tree
is in-
featuring Eric Roberts.
There you go.
Directed by Frank
2015.
D'Angelo, or
No, it's Ante Novakovic, and it stars Federico Castelluccio, who will be in The Sopranos very quickly, and another actor who is just randomly in things, Sean Young, who also is in the recently released, I believe the film is called Mecha Ape versus King Kong New World Order, something to that effect.
we watched the trailer last time we talked together.
Yeah. So she's in that movie. So this feels like a very specific kind of movie. The movie's called Ape X Mecha Ape New World Order. Then Hulk Hogan wrestles those apes. Listen here, dude.
Hey, let's not tell lies to our listeners that it's a very serious film.
The Mecha Ape, starring Sean Young. Yeah. This movie in a lot of ways, like the people in this movie that are the supporting cast, like Christopher McDonald and Robert Loggia, are always great in everything. But the people that are being ostensibly cast as like the main leads are so unbelievably miscast. Penelope Ann Miller, and it's not like we haven't talked about him, but like let's talk about him specifically. Chevy Chase is really bad in this movie. He is like criminally unfunny in this film. And I know that the script doesn't help, but he can't play this kind of role convincingly. Like, it's maybe he could have been this. No, you know what? No, I'm going to stand by. He could never have played this kind of role convincingly. Especially not at this point in his career, maybe early on in the 70s, possibly. But this kind of story being translated to this country with him as the star, just, I don't think would ever work.
I'm really curious because the screenwriter that's credited for this, and not the gentleman that wrote the play, but the person that did the adaptation, I guess, who's usually, again, more of an actor than a writer or producer, Henry Basil, was mostly known for writing for Rodney Dangerfield. Like, he wrote Guide to Golf Style and Etiquette, Meet Wally Sparks, Rodney Dangerfield's 75th birthday toast, and then a bunch of stuff I'd never heard of that all starred Rodney. My Five Wives, The Fourth Tenor, and Back by Midnight. The next thing that he wrote was Funny Money, and then the last thing, as far as the credits go, is the Jada Grace show, which he did 11 episodes of. So it was a one-season show. Multi-talented 11-year-old Jada Grace uploads a homemade music video of herself onto the internet, which quickly goes viral. Her amazing talent comes to the attention of Hollywood music producer Danny P., who brings Jada Grace to her and her BFF to Hollywood. So there you go.
Sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm good.
You're not looking that one up for the one-season show?
Now, Leslie Greif as well has a or Greif, maybe. Also,
I want to say grief, just
grief
because of what
gripe.
we went through.
the amount of grief we were caused here. It's interesting because Leslie Greif really, like, if you look at his filmography and the things that he's worked on, he produced The Offer TV show from a couple years ago. The one that was about The Godfather, like the making of The Godfather, which I think people seemed to like, best I could tell. It's rather well reviewed on IMDb, but for the most part, like, nothing that he's worked on moves the needle in any substantive way. And this may be the cause of that, because if this is the first thing you kind of like are trying to stake your claim on, woof.
I've never seen anything that guy has done. I looked through his credits and I didn't recognize one single thing. So I was like, well, this will be interesting. This is new territory, I guess.
Wrote the script for the TV show The Maddening.
Yes.
Sure.
And then big creator of Texas Ranger too. So
Texas Rising TV show for
I'm mistaken. I am mistaken. I have heard of Texas Ranger Walker, whatever the fuck it's called.
He's
Walking Texas Ranger.
He's the creator of,
co-creator.
Okay. I stand corrected.
Yeah.
Well, I don't think the quality of that show.
I wonder if the Leslie and Chris characters that they keep talking about are a reference difference because I thought when I saw that Leslie had directed this, I was like, oh, well, that's kind of cool that a woman directed this. And then I had to look them up and saw, oh, nope, just one of those. And then they keep talking about these mysterious in-laws, Leslie and Chris. And I was like, well, that's kind of cute that it's, two non-gendered names. So we don't necessarily know,
which is
who they are, which is which and all this stuff. And yeah, because that plays a big role in it, especially when he starts talking about how Penelope Ann Miller is a post-op trans person. So like, oh, okay.
Right. You do.
Yeah. My wife is a man.
Oh, wow. Yep.
Well,
that's this movie, folks.
How about that age difference, though?
Oh, I was wondering about that myself. Yeah.
It's about 21 years, which, fine. They're both adults, but but are we pretending that he's younger or are we pretending that she's older or is it irrelevant? And
he's a catch. He's sexy.
Oh,
at the end of the movie, there's that drawing where he's got the fat cock where they literally make the joke that Chevy Chase is a fat dick. I could not believe it. I could not, in good conscience, believe that they were like, and the movie ends with the picture of Chevy Chase having a fat penis. And then Chris McDonald looks at it and laughs. Really laughs at it too. He gets a good hearty laugh.
You think that was part of his contract? You got to put in here somewhere that I've got a big cock.
Reading, so
I was reading a soundboard for Mark Begley. I think it says in somewhere I need to have a big cock. Boom, boom.
I was reading I'm Chevy Chase and You're Not, which is so, it's all third person, which is weird because of the name of the book. But the author of that was just like, people kept saying that this was going to be Chevy's comeback, this movie, and then this movie, and then this movie. But, he really stars so well in Funny Money. And they kept talking about a film festival in Sarasota this won some sort of prize. And it was just like, well, they loved it in Sarasota and just kept talking about how popular it was in Sarasota. And I'm like, okay, that's all you got. That's all you cannot probably quote from any other reviews of this movie.
They can quote from there, though, Mike. Yeah, quote from there. How dare you take away the Sarasota Film Festival from
I know. I don't mean to besmirch the fine people of Sarasota. And I can just see the poster of this 5 stars Sarasota Inquirer.
Funniest film of the year, says Mabel Marthrop of the Sarasota Sentinel. Film of the year. Yeah, right.
They made sure that was noted on the Wikipedia page.
And on the Wikipedia page for the play.
Yeah. So I have a question.
Jesus Christ.
I have a question. Why are they so free with the information that he has $5 million in a briefcase? The second his brother shows up, she tells them both.
Right.
And I'm like, for one thing, it seems like that could have been part of the comedy, that nobody else knows that he has $5 million other than he and his wife.
Exactly.
And so the brother and sister-in-law are constantly wondering what the hell is going on. I don't know. It just seemed like everybody that came in quickly found out that he was loaded with this strange cash and they're leaving the country and Mr. Big is after them or Mr. Briefcase.
Mr. Nasty. I hate names of the characters in this fucking movie. Whenever Chevy Chase said Mr. Nasty, I just wanted to punch him through the screen. I was like, ugh. I hate those kinds of tropes in these kinds of movies because this movie, nothing that the characters say in this film is remotely funny. And so in nothing being funny, every time they say it and the movie gives that split second pause for you to laugh. It's it's not funny, movie, for the umpteenth fucking time. It's not funny.
You just die inside a little bit every time there's a bad line. And by the end of this movie, I felt physically ill.
By the end of this movie, I had died and been resurrected as a fucking corpse, as The Walking Dead. This movie is criminally unfunny.
I kept checking the time stamp and I was like, oh my God, I've only been watching this for 20 minutes.
You guys,
Oh my
what's
God.
funny is you guys had to watch it in like 3 or 4 sittings. I watched
it in one sitting.
Oh, did you? Okay, okay.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Mike, that had to watch it in 3 sittings.
I started it the other night.
Totally understand that.
Had to turn it off. I came back, watched a little bit more yesterday morning, and then I watched the rest of it yesterday afternoon. And yeah, so it just haunted me for a while.
I wish I had started on Monday and watched it 10 minutes at a time until yesterday.
Remember Event Horizon where they're talking about like the things that they've seen in hell? This is what they were watching.
My wife came home when I was about halfway through and, noted Chevy's appearance and how he was getting up there, but not.
What about Chevy's appearance, Mark?
That he's older and this is not prime Chevy. And she's like, oh, was this around the time that Community came out? And I said, oh, roughly. And then I had to look and that was his comeback. I think maybe unbeknownst to anybody until it happened. Like, you should have just been on some decent sitcom instead of trying all these stupid movie roles. Learn your spot in life.
Begley, okay. He had the Chevy Chase show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a real good talk show too.
Oh yeah, I remember. I think it's
he's a natural.
It's famous for being incredibly good. Yes.
Yeah,
they canceled it after 1 season because it was so good. No one else could ever be as good as him. The bar was set too high.
Yeah. I'm surprised we even have late night TV anymore after that.
The tapes were so good they were vaulted forever. So no one would ever be allowed to see them. So they couldn't copy them because of how timeless the comedy was.
I have another question for you guys. Why does Tubular Bells play when Kevin Sussman shows up outside their house?
Oh, the Exorcist cue? There's an Exorcist cue in this movie, isn't there? I guess because they were like, we're going to shoot Kevin Sussman from a low angle, and it just happens to look like the Exorcist.
But he's not a priest.
Well, I kind of figure Armand Asante is the old priest and he's the young priest.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah,
okay,
I guess
that makes sense.
But in the British version, in the play, they're referred to as the bent copper and the straight copper.
Oh, interesting.
That's one bent copper, you see.
The crooked cop and the good cop and the straight arrow cop.
Yes, I mean, a crooked cop in this movie.
Oh, God, yes.
Yeah,
he's taking hundreds of thousands of dollars in bribes.
But in the end, he doesn't get any money, and he does his job. So is he like ultimately
not for lack of trying?
Right. He eats fried rice out of somebody's fridge though, and then spits it. Yeah. Can you imagine reading the script for this movie and being like, and I have to spit the fried rice back into the container? Yes, Mr. Asante.
Oh, I think that was all him. I think that was him bringing his method to it.
Oh, he was getting more into character. He's like, what would he do?
Yeah.
What I thought that was
Sergeant
Gennaro do?
You thought that was who?
I thought that was tuna salad to go with some Joey about that.
I thought that was fried rice. I don't know.
Yeah.
Got another question for you guys.
Oh, God.
You like Maplethorpe?
I do like Maplethorpe.
Yeah, me too.
I do. Very much so. But yes, and I don't know why he's so put off by his wife's sculptures of naked people, men and women,
Whatever.
They're schlongs.
Yeah. Because he's uptight. Because he's uptight and predictable.
But he's got a fat cock.
Yeah.
So, right.
And you get to see Kevin Sussman lick that statue's ass to the point where he's got the ink going down his chin.
Yeah, you do.
That was how I knew this was a British thing. You know what I mean? When he was licking the ass of the statue, I was like, "There's some Brit that was writing this that thought this was just the funniest fucking thing." Like, like laughing like a big dumb idiot.
It's cheeky.
It's cheeky.
Literally.
Yeah. Hey, licking.
Remember that part?
He's licking the bum.
Are you eating bum?
Have you been served?
Jim Cheree. Yeah, exactly.
Carry on, Hoboken.
Carry on, Hoboken.
Oh, this podcast per minute has been funnier than the movie.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ. Do you ever feel bad for Christopher McDonald just always playing second fiddle to people who are less talented than him?
There were a lot of those guys in this. The head of the couples therapy, one of the guys in the couples therapy. It's like, did they farm out all the Adam Sandler and I can't remember what Will Ferrell's production company.
Dirty Sanchez, Gary Sanchez.
It's all those dudes. It's like, oh my God. And I kept forgetting. Yeah, this is 2006, man. These guys were working, because I was surprised to see those faces that I see in those dick joke comedies, modern dick joke comedies, so it was kind of strange.
Yeah, I really like Christopher McDonald. I even like Kevin Sussman, and because I think that he can play befuddled and upset very, very well. He's got that great face for making jokes, and yeah, it was really sad to see him in here, and just that he's so fucking stupid.
Is that an insult or a compliment? You got a face for jokes, boy.
I think he knows it. I think he knows that he can be goofy very easily.
Yeah, he's very funny.
Yeah.
He's the funniest
that's
part
his
of the
role.
movie.
That's his role on Big Bang Theory is exactly what you described.
Okay.
So.
I kept wondering what else he was in because I've seen him in a few movie things and I was like, why is this guy famous? I kept thinking that he might have been one of those scientists on Bones because they had a whole like rotating cast of other people that would come onto the show, especially the last few years, especially after the one assistant guy turned out to be a fucking serial killer, and they're like, okay, well, we need to get more people in here so that we have
possible.
Yeah.
To be fair, Mike, also the episode and the show hasn't even come out yet, but our Sopranos show that we've been working on, Kevin Sussman was in the first episode of the second season.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah.
I knew he was very familiar from something recent.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just watched that very recently. Yeah.
Yeah.
He has a very, I feel like they're trying to do a, almost like a Bean 1998 Mr. Bean movie with the licking of the butt, because you have Mr. Bean with the thing on the painting with the ink. And then they have the same thing here where he's like rubbing it and he's making it worse. Mr. Bean doesn't lick it though, which I think is kind of, that's where the Americanization of all this probably comes in. I don't know. Maybe in the British one, they're licking the ass of the statue. Probably. Yeah.
I'm sure. Yeah.
Butt licking.
Yeah. It makes sense.
Broadly a British thing.
Yeah, I mean, again, going back to the sister-in-law looking like a prostitute, there's a moment after they are, because we have to cut
sister-in-law,
outside.
it's just a friend.
Oh, that's a friend? I thought it was Chris McDonald's wife.
So did I.
It is, but I don't think Christopher McDonald's just their friend.
Oh, really? I thought it was his brother.
I thought it was he's Chevy's brother.
No, he's just his friend.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, the movie says that they're brothers at one point, but they're not like it. That's when he's lying about things. They're not.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they're just friends. They're like our friends Vic and Gina are coming over for dinner.
Oh, wow.
Cut off my legs and call me Shorty. I totally missed that.
Yeah. Especially because he knows him so well. There's that phone call where he's like, am I predictable? And he's like, well, wipe the powdered sugar off of your lip and quit tapping your pencil. And I was like, well, that's what a brother would do. But okay.
Yeah,
and laugh at that, and laugh at the huge cock in the picture. That's what the brother does.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because he's seeing him naked. He knows that's not true.
Yeah.
So sorry. So they cut outside because this is not a stage play. God damn it. We go outside of this one set every once in a while.
Romania. Yes. Exterior Belgrade.
And we're there like getting the two cars, the taxi and the car separated, and then we get to see Robert Loggia in I guess he's the guy in the very beginning in the animated credit sequence where he's got the hat and the trench coat. Yeah. And there's a moment where McDonald is sitting in the car and his wife comes over to him and she leans over the window and she's got this white fur coat, that eye makeup I was talking about. And I'm like, oh, she's going to get arrested for soliciting. No. I guess I'm the only one that thinks she looks like a total prostitute.
No, I mean, again, that's the reason they get away with it. It's solely so Robert Loggia can, I guess, sexually assault her by accident. It's literally so she's wearing a skirt. Like, I don't know how, and like, it's really off-putting. Like, that moment in this movie is really kind of fucking strange, because that's where I was
her fault, though.
It is.
That is not, he is out cold, and she sits
he's
on
not
his
out
cock.
cold. He's not out cold. He does smile. They do show a shot of it going, mugging. Gotta have the mugging.
I don't know that feeling, so.
The Leslie Nielsen mugging moment. Good God. Yeah, Leslie Nielsen was still around at this point, wasn't he? Why wasn't he in this? Just throw him in there.
You're mentioning the way Robert Loggia was dressed, and I was confused as to who that was walking up to the house. I'm like, who's this new character? Well, and then I kind of caught on when they beat him up. I'm like, oh, it's his boss.
But at the same time, was he looking at Chevy's place? Or was he looking at another place? Because even though it's one street, I was confused by the actual locations of things. I was like, oh, he's looking for the woman whose ass he was feeling in the fake fruit factory, and he's going to go fuck her. But I guess maybe that was Chevy's place that they bashed him over the head. Maybe that's why they bashed him.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think what it's supposed to, as I'm thinking about it now, I think what it's supposed to imply is that he's sort of in disguise because it's a surprise party.
Oh, he's there very early then.
Right.
Because a lot of times this movie feels like it was shot in real time because just time passes so slowly.
Yeah. A full day's. It felt like a full day.
It did.
From morning to night. I will give them credit. I did find it funny. So much the mistaken identity, but that he had a way out with the Sussman character coming to say that he was dead. And I thought, oh, well, that's his out,
Right. Thought that was great.
He can escape the country. Everybody's going to assume he's dead. The cops aren't going to go after him for either the murder of the actual person that's in the river or for stealing them. I mean, they're not going to go after him for stealing the money because it's mob money, but this is perfect. And then how they turned the surprise party when everybody shows up into a murder mystery. I was like, oh, that's kind of clever.
I thought that was good.
I liked that part. But yeah, the whole idea of him being dead, I thought, oh, that's genius. But they don't quite land it because then they throw in the other things still. He's still got the in-laws coming, or at some point it seemed like he and Christopher McDonald were acting like they were a gay couple when they were cooking together.
Gay brothers.
Yeah. And then talking about Henry. Oh, don't mention his name. So then I got confused again. And I'm like, what is going on here? I can't follow this.
Yeah. And like when it was Loggia, McDonald, and Chase all under the blanket, and and Sussman comes in, either Sussman or Armand Assante.
No, it's Armand Assante's under the blanket with them.
Oh, okay. And it looks like they're just giving hand jobs to each other or something.
Yeah.
It's like, okay. I mean, hey guys, what you do on a Friday night is your business. That looked kind of fun to me. So.
I like when they're doing the Dorf on Dorf thing with Christopher McDonald and Robert Loggia's legs. Yes. That might be the funniest part of the whole movie for me. The little leg crossing and like the Weekend at Bernie's thing that they're doing.
Uh-huh.
I know that you guys looked in and researched the movie, as did I, but it's kind of surprising that none of us have mentioned the weirdest thing of all with this movie. The genuinely strangest thing. So we've had a movie released by the Dow or produced by the Dow Chemical Company. That'd be Transylvania 65000. Funny Money was also a film of its first of its kind for the way it was released. It was released in Los Angeles, San Francisco, Las Vegas, San Diego, Seattle, Dallas, and Phoenix because the company that produced it, FWE Picture Co., worked in tandem with Timeshare Operators Consolidated Resorts to release the film.
Wow.
It was released with two companies, a film production company and a timeshare company. And the timeshare company hosted the premiere in Las Vegas in January of 2007.
Oh, so you think that the timeshare company had locations in Barcelona, Greece, Bali, and Paris?
No, I just have never heard of a timeshare company helping produce a movie and then releasing it or helping release it, or I don't understand. What the fuck? It's like the Dow Chemical Company with Transylvania 65000. Like, was this like an elaborate money laundering scheme? Kind of feels like it now.
Well, yeah. Well, especially when you say it cost $20 million to make and that it netted $30 million. I'm like, you made $10 million on this movie? People paid you to see this?
genuinely think that this movie may be like money laundering.
Oh God, yeah.
I don't know what other explanation there is, because there's some fishy shit going on. And look, we know in the film industry there's always some creative bookkeeping as it is, because most movies, quote, never make any money, unquote, right? Like that's the kind of joke we've all heard. I wouldn't be surprised if this is just like, oh, let's just, spend 20 million to make 10 million. Like, I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe it is. I'm not creative with my bookkeeping and or work for Consolidated Resorts, a timeshare company who released Funny Money.
Well, and don't forget they released it under the title National Lampoon's Funny Money.
Yeah, overseas, yeah.
Yeah.
Because people overseas deserve to be literally conned out of their money. That was the thing I was thinking about. Like, who could have played opposite? If you have to have Chevy Chase in this movie, who could have played opposite Chevy Chase? Beverly D'Angelo. What was she doing?
Oh, I know. And the age difference would have been a little bit better too.
Yeah, I don't understand what was going on.
And then Gerard Depardieu in the Armand Assante role.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was thinking to myself, like, when was the last time we watched a film version of a play? And it was
Dinner for Idiots.
Yeah. Le Dîner des Fugitifs.
De la con.
Yes.
Which was so much better than this.
God, everything is better than this.
Most
things are better than this.
I genuinely laughed, and every single time there was a mistake when it came to identity or anything, I was like, oh, okay, this is actually pretty funny. But instead, it's just like every single time they have to lie, they just keep getting deeper and deeper into it. And there's no clever resolution of things. Like there is no, oh, well, this actually is Leslie. This is Chris. This is my other brother-in-law. Just because they just keep digging themselves deeper for no good reason. Oh, my wife's a man. Like all of these things. It's like, oh my God, this is terrible.
And Assante just leaves?
I guess at the end, after the big shootout, which again we don't see, like the movie started to wrap up, and I was like, wait, I had to back it up and look to be like, oh yeah, no, they don't actually show anything. They just show 5 freeze frames with gunfire, and then they cut to, oh, the scene here in Hoboken is crazy.
I think it would have made more sense that nobody hit anybody in a scenario like this. In a comedy of errors, no one should have landed a shot, even though they're all across, a room.
I thought that was a joke initially.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Dudes get murdered straight up.
That's what I was expecting. At the end, this massive shootout, and then you see everybody. You see the Serbs or Russians or whoever in the cop cars. You see Kevin Sussman sitting on the curb, all shaky, and Asante's just walking off because he's like, I wasn't here, I wasn't trying to steal $200,000 from these guys. They shouldn't have hit it. Nobody should have gotten hit. Yeah. They're all incompetent.
Oh yeah. Should have been something
That's a joke.
Dropped on somebody's head instead, or like, we do get to see one guy get, knocked over by a bunch of wax apples. And I'm like, okay, like give me something else. Or like maybe make the statues part of this whole thing, and like that comes to nothing. And we've got the whole thing with Madame V's briefcase, and that she finds the wax banana in there. And that was the only time I actually laughed in this movie, is when she looks at it and she gets a little smile on her face, like, oh, I can work with this. And I was like, okay, see, that's funny. That's actually funny. But the rest of this stuff, it's like, okay, great.
Well, and then she also ends up with the cabbie. So that is, I guess, tied in a bow.
She ends up with Loggia.
That's right.
That's right. Well, but in the cab for a second. There.
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
And he's like, did you say what they say about redheads? Like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Is it that her pussy hair is red? I mean, like, what do they say about redheads?
Mike,
carpet matches
Audrey.
The carpet matches the curtains. Come on.
Pussy hair?
Well,
hey, this is Mike pussy hair white. Hey, hey, pussy hair.
What else am I supposed to say? The carpet matches the drapes. Yes, I know. Okay, so.
Did you guys read the IMDb trivia for this movie?
It said that it was very similar to another movie. I'm trying to remember what it was.
No Country for Old Men.
Well, it says this film is loosely based on the Romanian comedy Nea Marin Malarda. I'm like, okay, well,
Right.
but it was based on a play. So what are you talking about? But the spoilers section was what got me.
Oh, well, but
spoilers.
first, real quick, that movie that you just mentioned, that is a movie that we're going to watch, Chris, because Inspector Columbo is a character in it.
Oh, how interesting.
Because I went to download it and I was like, oh, wait, no, I already have this movie.
Jesus wept, as they would say.
Yes. So what was under the spoilers? So that I don't
The
think I saw the
spoilers.
spoilers.
I'm quoting exactly. This movie does, in fact, blow.
Somebody had put that in there, and if you listen to this episode of this show because you put that comment on there, you fucking son of a bitch, you did it. You did
You rule.
Oh, wow.
Whoever you are.
Wow.
Let me see if there's a username.
Fucking
There is not a username.
Oh, man. That applaud. I applaud you,
Yeah.
anonymous.
Shy of fucking-
I'm bowing, sir or madam.
Oh, wow.
I mean, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, that person may have seen this film under the title National Lampoon's Funny Money, and that may be why they feel so strongly.
I feel strongly, and I saw it just under the regular title.
I know, but let's just blow this up a little bit, right? National Lampoon's Funny Money. If you see this movie with the National Lampoon's qualifier in front of it, it's even worse.
Oh, no, they've done so many horrible movies. I mean, I've done a lot of
Bad stuff.
This is guys, come on.
It does make National Lampoon's Van Wilder seem Oscar worthy.
I like Van
DTV.
Wilder.
They, all their DTV stuff, direct to video.
Still better than
Come
this.
on.
Still better than this.
It is
You
better
say
than
so.
this, but
Because those things were made as National Lampoon's things. This is just like, can you imagine just slapping National Lampoon's on this? Like, what about this as
How do
National
they get away with
Chevy
that?
Chase? I don't know. International.
Because Chevy was a part of Lampoon
I
for.
guess.
Because of the vacation movies. Because Beverly D'Angelo would have been a much more reasonable choice for his wife in this movie, and then you could have.
Because of the vacation. But you can't just call things with copyright laws. You can't just.
International
I could say,
clearly can.
so I can make a movie, and in Russia, I can sell it as Martin Scorsese's
Sure.
Do you want to try?
Fresno stories. Talking about.
Let's do it. Weirding Way Media presents Martin Scorsese's Fresno stories.
I mean, I like
Fucking A.
Penelope Ann Miller quite a bit. I remember she was so cute and so funny in some of her earlier things. Like, didn't she? But she was the gun in Betty Lou's handbag, right? She was Betty Lou, and a lot of other good movies that she was in. But then she was in so many bad things, and she just played Nancy Throat Goat Reagan in that Reagan movie.
Hell yeah.
Hey, she's in Kindergarten Cop. She's in Carlito's
Yes.
Way.
Oh God, she was amazing in Carlito's Way.
She's in The Shadow. I was trying to remember what she was from that we had seen together, Mike. Remember when we did for like the 200th episode, we did The Relic?
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, she plays Dr. Margot Green in The Relic, a poor facsimile of a great character. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah. Penelope Ann Miller.
Chaplin. Awakenings.
Oh,
Along
yeah.
Came a Spider, which we mentioned earlier a couple podcasts ago. Has a weird career. I always what's the other actress? The one that was in Hollow Man. I sometimes get them confused.
Oh, Elizabeth
Shue.
Elizabeth Shue. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Them
Elizabeth
sometimes.
Shue. She's very active in my world. Like I am. I liked her on CSI quite a bit, and then she was amazing in The Boys.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And she comes back every once in a while, even though she passed away in the first season, I think. Spoilers. But
Interesting.
She was in Hollow Man. Criminally underrated.
is it really?
Is it though? Is it though?
I mean, I don't know.
Should we watch that when we have to watch Memoirs of an Invisible Man?
Ooh, I like where your head's at. Should we also watch a film that you may not even know existed? Hollow Man 2?
Oh my God.
Speaking of TV, baby. Oh yeah. And that fucking movie has, and I'm not even kidding, Christian Slater in it.
Wow.
Nice.
Is he the titular Hollow Man too?
There are 2 Hollow Men in that movie.
Oh, wow.
It's him and I forget who the other one is. It's one of those like.
So it's TOO.
No, it's TWO and TOO all at the same time. Hollow Man Tutu.
Hollow Man 2.
So it's Christian Slater and everyone's favorite TV star Peter Fasinelli is the other lead of the movie. Of all the people, right? I mean, I'm not even sure what Peter Fasinelli. I guess he was in Nurse Jackie. Is what I just looked for. But yeah. Hollow Man 2? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Chevy Chase, Invisible Man, Hollow Man. Sure, why not? There's a hollow gorilla in Hollow Man.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh, boy.
How much controversy there was around that stupid fucking movie. Wasn't that the whole thing where Sony got in trouble for possibly, like, paying people off, like, for fake reviews? Wasn't that Hollow Man? I'm pretty sure it was.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
No idea.
I mean, to bring it full circle, maybe that's the same till that the Sarasota Film Festival people were being paid out of. They loved this film. That I think you didn't want to indict the good people of Sarasota. But to be fair, Mike, the good people of Sarasota did approve of this film, and this film's not great. So
does the film festival take place at an old folks home?
That's what I'm wondering.
It takes place at the Consolidated Resorts home base, which is the weird fucking timeshare that really. Yeah, this movie feels like a timeshare of a movie. Like there's a better version of this movie out there. God, dear gee.
Yeah.
Oh, I am never sharing my time with this film again. So.
Ooh, he's on fire.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, it's the brain damage.
Yeah, I'm looking up Funny Money and Sarasota and trying to find out, like, was somebody from the cast there? Like, did they send? Oh, here we go. Sarasota Herald Tribune. I liked your name a little bit better there, Chris. Yes, the Sarasota. Yes, and here's pictures of Penelope Ann Miller, Christopher McDonald, Chevy Chase is there.
Wow.
Chase is up on stage with McDonald. Oh yeah, here's all kinds of big group shots here. Funny Money is a comedy film directed by Leslie Greif and produced by Herb Nanas. Opened at the 8th Annual Sarasota Film Festival, which continued through April 9, 2006. Director Christopher McDonald left. Leslie Greif Center. Okay, so they just screwed up their own caption. And Penelope Ann Miller, arrived for the screening of the movie Friday night. So yeah, there's Leslie. There's, signing some autographs. Oh my God, here's a picture of fucking Gene Simmons at the festival. Wow.
Yeah, because Leslie Greif, if you go and look at Leslie Greif's filmography, he's worked with Kiss.
That's right.
Including on the Kiss final tour thing that they just did. And also I'd like to point out, I think we should cover at some point a film that's a real thing involving Leslie Greif, The Maddening from 1995. In this Southern Gothic horror story, deranged parents Roy and Georgina Scudder will stop at nothing to protect his daughter's secret and hold young mother Cassidy Osborne and her daughter Samantha hostage at their isolated property, starring Burt fucking Reynolds.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What?
Oh, here's a nice written by staff writer. I'm glad that this is written by staff writer because it says it's all written in the first person, which makes no fucking sense. And it's all about how it may have taken a while, but I think I finally appreciate the Sarasota Film Festival. Over the last 8 years, I've had a hand in covering the festival, which began small and gradually grew larger. This year, it had an impressive array of films and stars. Let's jump down to this year. I saw 11 films, more than ever before, from the ridiculous farce of the opening night film Funny Money to the delightful closing night film A Prairie Home Companion, which could easily be a hit for director Robert Altman. Wow.
Whoops. Yeah, for fucking Robert Altman.
Yes.
Whoops.
Oh, wow.
Man, batting 0 for 0 for those two.
Man, yeah, they showed some really good stuff here. The Amateurs with Jeff Bridges, our very own. What else did this person see? Wrestling with Angels, playwright Tony Kushner, Wordplay, and then another mention of Prairie Home Companion. Wow, yeah, they had a real good time at this festival. Staff writer did.
Hey, is somebody involved with the movie a Sarasota native or something?
I wonder.
Should we delve into that or?
There's a conspiracy surrounding.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out, man.
I'm Sarah Kane.
Why were they?
And this is cereal.
Yeah.
Why were they so smitten with this?
Maybe that's the headquarters of Consolidated Resorts.
Yeah,
The company who co-released the film, who also happens to own timeshare.
Staff writer. They're passing over to staff writer.
Yeah.
Yep.
That staff writer gets a lot of work. I've seen that in multiple newspapers.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Well, it's that whole
travel
thing.
around.
Yeah. You know,
Cold
once they started doing the joint operating agreement, staff writer was everywhere.
Good.
Oh, yeah.
Good God. There's a lot going on with Funny Money, and what's weird is none of it lives up to the title.
Yeah, I think David Manning really liked this one. That is your fake Sony Columbia
Is that
Pictures person,
the guy who wrote the reviews for Hollow Man?
Yeah. Let's see. The Animal with Rob Schneider, another winner.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I was about to say it wasn't just Hollow Man. It was like a couple things that came out in '99.
Oh yeah, A Knight's Tale. He was very hot on it.
Great film, best film of the year. Heath Ledger's performance will shock you.
Oh, so good. Yeah,
Jesus.
I'm gonna have to go over to the Museum of Hoaxes to see more of his. One hell of a scary ride. David Manning, Ridgefield Press, Hollow Man. There you go. A sexy, scary thrill ride. The Forsaken.
You're telling me that there aren't, by just law of averages, enough film writers in this country that one of them would be high on your movie enough to give you a fucking softball of a quote to use?
That's when they started using like fucking Ain't It Cool News quotations.
Yeah.
And it would be like 5 stars, Ain't It Cool News.
The
It's just
Akron
like,
Reporter says.
well, and sorry to get gross again, but it's just like eating pussy. Harry Knowles on Blade 2.
What?
The infamous
yeah.
Blade 2 review. Oh my
You
God.
got to look into that.
If you haven't
Chris.
read that, your eyes may not be ready for it. You might have to douse with some bleach after that.
Well, it is my favorite drink, so if I just start
he
applying
does.
it topically, maybe it'll do me some good.
He somehow takes Blade 2 and makes it about he literally uses cunnilingus as his metaphor.
Oh,
for this whole
good.
thing. Oh yeah, it's incredible.
He's such a cool guy.
Oh, he is.
What
Yeah.
happened to him? Where's he at right now?
Oh, Austin,
Yeah, with the rest of them.
seat 5F at the Alamo Draft House.
yeah. Fuck. Not anymore. He's probably one of those scoot-arounds.
Oh yeah, he definitely is. Yeah, he's been doing that for a while.
Yeah.
Don't watch it.
Not quite, ladies and gentlemen. That's a quote for the fucking box. Don't watch it.
I mean, honestly, I can't really. I've already said the good things about this movie that I could say, and that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, a couple things here and there. That's about it.
Chevy Chase still has a cleft in his chin.
He does.
He does.
Yeah.
I have nothing else to say any more than either of you do. I take full responsibility for us watching this movie, and I hoist myself on my own petard, as it were.
Well, but so this one was new to me. I had never heard of it before in my entire life. For some reason, when I was telling people that I was watching it, I kept mixing it up with The Last Laugh, that one with Richard Dreyfuss. But another one I've never seen before, and I hear is as bad, is Caddyshack 2. How are we going to do this? How are we going to do this?
I don't know. I was about to say we're like we've crossed the fucking Rubicon now, and we're just like we're powering forward into hell, boys. Like Caddyshack 2 is, I've seen it one time, and I don't remember anything other than it has Randy Quaid in it, and Chevy Chase is there for like a cup of coffee. If that, like, Chevy, we need you for one day. All right, how much?
I see some positive notes drifting towards us in the future, so it's not going to be all bad.
It's an Alan Arkish movie. Where's Father Malone at? He can't join us for that one because it's conflict of interest.
Well, I don't remember hating Fletch Lives. And
I like Fletch Lives a lot, frankly.
I've never seen Christmas Vacation, so we do have that. Sorry. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Wouldn't want anyone to confuse it for anything.
I love it.
Yes.
I love that one.
Is it National Lampoon's Caddyshack 2?
No.
Oh, is it National Lampoon's Fletch Lives?
It's National Lampoon's Nothing But Trouble.
Oh, there you go. Oh, and that's where Father Malone's supposed to be.
That is
to have
correct.
a guest. Yeah,
That's right. He'll be joining us in the near future to talk about a movie I've covered once, which is Nothing But Trouble. But it's a Dan Aykroyd joint, which means it was probably like 1,000-page script. This is 200 pages of character motivation. Dan, nobody fucking cares.
Well, and he's in Caddyshack too, as well, right?
He sure is, I believe.
Jesus Christ, my God,
boy. So until the next time, when you hear the three of us talking about Caddyshack 2, where can you find you and the things that you work on, Mike White?
You can find everything that I work on over at weirdingwaymedia.com, except for one thing, which is Ranking on Bond, which you can find on my Patreon at patreon.com/projection booth, or you can find it on Chris's Patreon, which is patreon.com/culturecast. That's culturecast with a K, despite what any sort of audio transcription service might have you believe. How about you, Mr. Begley?
You can find my shows, Wake Up Heavy and Cambridge Omashan, also over on weirdingwaymedia.com. And I do not have a Patreon, so that's all you need to go to. How about you, Chris Stashu?
You can find all the things that I work on over at weirdingwaymedia.com. Like Mike mentioned, that is the singular repository for 99% of the things that I work on. The other thing is Rankin on Bond, which Mike mentioned you can find over at my Patreon, Rankin on patreon.com/culturecast. As for this show, like, rate, and review wherever you get it, hopefully on iTunes. If you don't get it on iTunes, go on over to iTunes and like it on iTunes. We will be back, like we've already mentioned, next month to talk about Caddyshack 2, which features Chevy Chase for so little time that we'll probably be barely talking it. But hey, we're doing our due diligence. You're right, we're going to be doing our due diligence, folks. That's what you can expect from us at Weirding Way Media. So we'll see you on the next episode.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.